Hey guys, Dave here, aka Red Green Jr. Thank you so much for checking out my DayZ for Noobs videos. If you are new to DayZ, I hope these videos help you to enjoy the game as much as I do. If you're enjoying it, please don't forget to click the like and subscribe button below. And you can always come over to Twitch and try to find me streaming, Twitch TV/Red Green Jr. Thank you so much for the support, and that's enough of me. Let's get into the video. All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you for joining us for video number 2 in our DayZ for Noobs series. If you have not watched the first video yet, I suggest you go back and watch that one first. In that video, we took this same character from Fresh Spawn Noob, and we were able to loot the first kind of coastal town that we spawned in, get to a, we're not geared, but a sort of reasonable level of gearedness after kind of the first city that you'll be in. And we're now in a position, we have enough food, we've had enough water, our clothes are in decent enough shape that we are ready to take on the next phase of the game, which I like to call the Tier 2 phase, of starting to head inland towards the more high loot areas on the map. The way DayZ is kind of set up is you spawn on the coast in Chernarus, the Chernarus map in particular I'm talking about. You spawn on the coast, and the better loot is farther, you spawn on the east and the south, and the better loot happens the farther north and west that you go. And so that's kind of the path that DayZ wants you to take, and it's the path that makes the most sense. I mean, you can play DayZ however you want, but that's generally the flow that we go through. So today I wanted to show you in this video how I approach when you're leaving the first town, what should be your goal? What are you trying to get? What are you trying to do? So we just spawned back in this house. This is the same character. We're in the same place where we left the last video. It looks like it's later in the day. I'm going to grab this leather sewing kit. It repairs boots. I mentioned in the first video how your boots can get worn down in DayZ. And it also wears down an item called a plate carrier, which we may not even get with this character, but it's more of a late game thing, but we're going to pick it up for now anyways, because why not? It's sitting right there. All right, it looks like it's still raining, which does kind of suck. The rain is going to get us cold and wet as we travel. But, hey, it wouldn't be DayZ if there wasn't some difficulty attached, right? So, last time when we spawned in, I talked about using iSurvive, the website, which is like has a map of Chernarus. Oh, there's some more food. Nice. As a way to figure out where you are on the map. I'm going to show you on iSurvive right now, actually. A little bit more about my strategy when I go inland. Okay, so as I said, you tend to, you spawn on the east coast or the sort of south coast here. And generally speaking, people want to make their way towards the Northwest Airfield, Tizzy, there's some Pavlovo now, military over here, is an end game kind of place. Even Riffy the boat, they're toxic zones now, which is a new thing, which we'll get a bit more into in our third video, and we're talking more end game DayZ. But generally, that's the flow. And typically, when you leave a starter town, like we spawned here in Balota, we've looted up a bit. We've had a bit of water. We've had a bit of drink. We have decent clothes. We have a decent backpack. You're trying to move inland, and now you're trying to set yourself up to survive long term. You've overcome the initial difficulty of, can I get warm? Can I find a little bit of food? Can I get a knife? Can I get some of the essentials? And now, how do I survive long term in the game? And to me, the best way in terms of food and drink to survive long term in DayZ is by hunting. The most nutritious, highest calorie count food in the game is cooked meat. So in my opinion, I'm not comfortable in DayZ until I have a gun that can kill a deer or a pig or a boar or a cow or whatever. And so that's one of the reasons why, for me, whenever I'm leaving an early coastal town, I try to get to a campground first. I don't just run to military areas. I try to get to a campground. And there are a few of them kind of strewn out throughout the map. Again, if you just want to wander and take roads and learn the map on your own, that's fine. Today, I'm just going to show you where I like to go. If I spawn down here, like we did today, Belota, Cherno, Electro, I like to hit this campground right here called Stroytel. Okay. It's just north of Chernogorsk, up like a dirt road, just south of Mogilevka. Probably not pronouncing that right, but oh well. If I spawn Electro even, I'll make my way over, kind of up this road and over to Mogilevka, loot this campground, then head north up this road and loot this campground as well. And by then, I've hit 2 campgrounds. I'm now in the middle of the map. I'm very close to the airfield. I'm close to Vybor Military over here. I can keep going north to Tizzy. There's more campgrounds along the western edge of the map, more military areas. I can start heading to Zelenogorsk, which tends to be high PvP area right now. Maybe even down to Pavlovo if I have enough NBC gear by then. But that's kind of the strategy. Now, if I spawn up in Berezino over here, which is again a very common spawn, or anywhere, all these circles with like the outline person, that's like a spawn point. So there's lots of spawns along here, down into Nizhnoye, you know, Three Valleys, Solnichny, all that stuff. I will loot Berezino until I have enough food that I feel like I'm going to survive, and then I head uphill to, guess what, another campground. And then from there, I'll either head north to the airfield in Krasnostav, hit this little military base on the north side of that mountain, and then make my way west. There's another campground here that's very good, just right near Kamensk Military. So depending where I spawn, I have campgrounds that I like to hit on my way inland, and I highly suggest hitting these campgrounds. They tend to have the hunting jacket and pants are warm. They have a lot of slots. They're decent camouflage. They're some of the best clothing in the game. You might get a hunting backpack, which is, in my opinion, the best backpack in the game. If you don't have a knife yet, you often will get a hunting knife at these places. And you can get hunting rifles and ammunition for those rifles at these places. So they're very important spots on the map to hit when you're not quite full military M4'd out yet, but you want to be able to kill animals and maybe even kill a player if you have to. I highly recommend that. So today, we're starting over here in Belota town. We're going to make our way northeast, try to get to Stroytel. Then we'll go north through Mogilevka, just kind of loot it quickly, maybe grab a drink at the pump, and then head up to this campground as well. And then we'll be at the center of the map and ready to start tackling endgame DayZ. All right, that's the plan. What could go wrong? At the moment, I have a very nice rifle, this Blaze that we found, and a shotgun. I don't have any ammo for either. I have an MP5 that has a scope on it because I was able to loot below the airfield, which is like a military designated area. But only some stray bullets for that, no mag. And then I have a Colt 1911, which shoots 45 ACP with 5 bullets in it. So 4 in the mag and 1 in the chamber. So, you know, we're not really ready to tackle the world, but hopefully we'll survive. It looks like it's nighttime on the server right now. I'm going to bump gamma for you guys a little bit. So you can see. I would switch servers, you know, to make it a little brighter for you guys, but if I do so, I'm going to get spawned randomly on the map, and I'd rather continue this same adventure with the same character, so you get a feel for, you actually see me gear up a character as opposed to you see a bunch of highlights of how to do it. I like to do sort of a little bit of quick looting on my way out of places. I'm not going to go through every house. The zombies, I find, they will be in backyards, but they tend to be more on the roads in the fronts of houses. So I'll kind of skim loot, going along the backyards, checking sheds. You know, I'm just looking for little bits of gear that I can grab that look kind of juicy, but I'm not looking to get any aggro or fighting any zombies. I still only have 2 bandages left. So in any of these bandage rolls, you get 4 uses, but you can see at the bottom I'm only half full, and to the right when I mouse over it, you can see it says under the weight, where it says under 0.25 kilograms, it says 2 pieces. So I have 2 uses left of the bandage. So I can only get cut 2 more times before I don't have anything to help with a cut anymore. So I'm not really interested in getting into too many zombie fights at the moment and wasting my bandages. Another great thing about these campgrounds is that many of them also have a medical facility building there. And at the medical facility buildings, you can find more bandages, which are very important. Other pills that can help you, either vitamins to avoid sickness or tetracycline pills, which can cure you if you have contracted certain illnesses in the game. Medical buildings are real important, especially when you're looking to survive long-term in DayZ. I may have aggroed that female zombie there. We're going to keep going and hope she doesn't notice us. And also, at medical facilities, there's a chance for, I mentioned before about the toxic zones, there's a chance to spawn NBC gear. And in DayZ right now, there are permanent toxic zones at Pavlovo Military Base and at Riffy, which is like a shipwreck on the northeast part of the map. And they are permanently doused in a toxic gas, toxic cloud. Whenever you're running through the woods in DayZ, keep your eyes open, because you will find mushrooms on the ground. I think they spawn dynamically based on the trajectory that a player is moving. So if you move in a straight line through the woods long enough, chances are mushrooms are going to start spawning near you, in front of you, and you'll be able to grab them. Same with the fruit that we talked about last time. They'll be either raw, dried, or rotten. You can eat raw. You can eat dried. You don't want to eat rotten. But yeah, so these permanent toxic zones, you need to be wearing sort of this gear called NBC gear. There's shoes, pants, a jacket, gloves, a hood, that you have to wear all that stuff to protect yourself, and you have to wear a gas mask so that you can breathe in those areas. So if you find all that stuff and you're able to put it on, you can go into those toxic zones and get some of the best loot on the map, or the best loot on the map. So that's kind of end game. But in this kind of mid-game tier, mid-game phase, you're also, you know, I want some bullets for this blaze so I can kill an animal. But I'm also trying to set myself up for end game a little bit too. So as I go through these campgrounds and other places that are decent for me to loot right now, I'm going to keep an eye out for that NBC gear. All right, so you notice I'm not using a compass right now. A lot of new players to DayZ, it's probably wise to have a compass and use that compass in tandem with the I Survive map to figure out where you are. I've played the game so much. I still make mistakes all the time, but I have a general sense of where I am most of the time, and I can see these apartments to my right. I know those are the apartments in a few of the towns, just kind of that surround Chernogorsk to the north. And I kind of just know about where I am. You know, if I get up here and I kind of run around a bit and go, wait a sec, is the camp here or is it here? You know, that happens from time to time. But most of the time I find once you've played the game enough, you kind of have a sense of where everything is. And you don't need the compass or the map nearly as much. Yeah, so we're at this little industrial part here. At the westernmost, kind of between the central and the westernmost of the three kind of apartment towns that border Cherno. There's a little military checkpoint up here. We're going to check it on the way by. So just to give you some perspective of what we've done here so far. We were in Balota, and we kind of went up through the backyards. And then we've kind of basically made our way across here. And now we've kind of cut up with the road about here. And followed the road. That's the industrial area I just saw on my right. And then this in front of us is the little military checkpoint. We're going to check these tents for gear. And then we can kind of, if we follow the road till it ends, and then cross, and then follow this road, it'll take us right there. So let's do that. So you can see just taking a road, and you know, at nighttime too, there's a lot less chance we're going to get lost if we stay on or near a road. Again, I'm going to be crouching for this part because zombies are going to have a tougher time hearing and seeing me, and zombies definitely spawn around this area. I would be shocked if we don't bump into a couple military zombies in here. Now, the darkness does help your player as well. I think that zombie heard me. Gonna try moving away. I thought I might just be able to still get the stealth attack on it, but I wasn't. So I can hear there's other zombies around. If they aggro me, I'm gonna have to maybe get up on this fence. Okay, I was able to kill one before the other one came, so that's good. Again, I'm trying to do the block their first attack, which is like usually a running swipe, and then a power attack, and then power attack on the second one. 1, 2, then I attack. And I'm holding shift when I attack. Sometimes you run out of stamina. There is a stamina bar underneath where it says screwdriver below the video of my face here. And that shows how much stamina my character has. Every time I do a power attack, it eats up quite a bit of that. And you cannot do a power attack if you're out of stamina. So now you'll see I'm crouching. It's gaining up full white bar now, so I'll have stamina again. So that's something to be careful of as well. But as long as you're blocking, zombies right in front of you are not going to be able to hurt you. It's the ones hitting you from the side and the back that are a real problem. That's decent ammo for me, 45 ACP. Like I said, anytime I find sort of usable boots or shoes in the game, I switch them so that I don't have to worry about running my boots or shoes ruining. That has happened to me before out in the woods, and it's not fun. Okay. We found a new MP5. This one has a mag. So that's nice. We're going to take the mag out. It only has 12 rounds in it, and it's a 30-round mag. So I see that I have 9mm bullets right here, 9x19. That's what goes in here. So to load the mag up, you put it in your hands, and then you hold. If I held left click, it would take the bullets out of the mag. If I hold R, it will put any loose rounds I have in my inventory into the mag. So now those 4 bullets are gone. They're in the mag. Put the gun back in my hands. Attach it. Now both these guns... Oh, excuse me. The gun I had was damaged. This one's badly damaged. So I'm going to want to use this gun. Now I took the mag out, But I can see here the gun is still loaded, so there's a bullet still in the chamber. So to get that out, because I don't want to leave a bullet behind, I double tap R. And that cycles the bullet out. Okay? So it should be in my inventory. There it is. So then I want to grab... I don't want the badly damaged one. I want the damaged one. And then I'm going to chamber this one. The single bullet. And then put the mag in. If you don't do that, when you put the mag in, it will cycle one forward. But then obviously you'll have one less bullet in the gun. So I like to do it this way. All right, and we're gonna hotbar the MP5 because it has bullets in it. I like to only hotbar weapons if they're usable. Otherwise, to me it's too much of a tease. I think, oh, I have a gun, I'll pull it out quick, and I'm not thinking. And then why isn't it shooting? Again, these loose rounds, if I don't have more than a stack of it yet, I don't mind picking up loose bullets. Looks like the sun's starting to come up. Alright, we're going to try to move away here. That one zombie did see me, or hear me. And I would like, when he gets mad, to not be near any other zombies, so I can only deal with one at a time. And if we keep moving here, we might get... Well, no, we're not going to get away from him. And he might have brought his buddy. Anyways. What exactly is this guy doing? 1, 2, power attack. Alright. Hold up, hold down to block, and power attack. 2, attack. It's kind of, you know, might seem a little cheesy, but I like not getting hurt. And again, with only 2 bandages, I don't want... Now, again, I have the plus sign on him, so I know that means he's got something in his inventory, and this guy has a nice can of spaghetti for me. Fantastic. Alright, I thought I heard a bit of a... I heard a zombie aggro over here, but it was not on me. DayZ is the kind of game where you don't see anyone for a long time, and so you start kind of assuming you're not going to, and that's usually when you see somebody. Alright, well, we'll keep going here. Also, our don't have a gun cleaning kit. Wow. That zombie heard me from a while away. Our MP5 is pretty damaged, so it would be nice to get a weapon cleaning kit and clean it up a little bit. And that's something we can also potentially find at the campground. So it's really a good place to visit in this game, if you know where they are. All right, as I said before, food and drink in the game is much more important to get it inside your character than it is to have it in your inventory. Eat it. It's the best place to store it. If you can eat, eat. You don't want to save for a rainy day or whatever. Just eat it. Your capacity, the character capacity for calories in the game is very, very high. Much higher than you might think. So you might as well just keep putting more money in the bank. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the game. This kind of mid-tier level. There's something adventurous about finally getting out of your starter town, you know, leaving the coast. You typically have enough gear that you feel like, okay, I have something, but you don't really have enough that you sort of care if you lose it. And that's kind of nice. He's got something on him. Ooh, that's a nice knife. Combat knife. I'll take that. This zombie also has a stab vest on. Stab vests are decent for armor. Especially, they help you not getting cut from zombies as often. The issue with the stab vest is that it has some weight to it. It's 4 kilograms. If you notice, my stamina bar isn't able to fill up all the way anymore. This is as far as it fills up. That's based on the weight my character is holding. So if I take this stab vest and put it on the ground, watch my stamina bar. So see how it just jumped? It takes a few seconds to kind of register. But every time you add weight to yourself, your character in DayZ, it does a little calculation and then adjusts the stamina bar accordingly. So when I put this back on, boom. So there's sort of a cost in the game to everything that you pick up and put on. And you have to decide whether that item is worth the stamina cost or not. And stamina you need to run, you need it to jump, and by run I mean sprint. You need it to jump, you need it to do power attacks. It's also the same meter you use if you're aiming a weapon and you want to hold your breath. So for me, I've set it up that left control holds my breath. And now I have a steady aim, but see how that stamina is going down? So if I had lots of heavy things on, heavy clothing, you know, 2 or 3 big guns, it's possible to get your stamina pool so low that you have a real hard time sniping or aiming straight, especially with a scope, which can be a big deal. So, or run away from someone if you need to sprint. There's no sprint available to you. So you've got to kind of decide how you like to play DayZ. I tend to play DayZ a little bit more lightweight. You know, I like to have a little, you know, SMG or something for close up and a decent rifle for long range. That's my preferred loadout. A lot of people like plate carriers and M4s or AKMs, and that's fine too. But I like being quick and mobile. I find positioning in DayZ is very important. It's better, you know, people talk about, well, you know, this bullet is stronger than this one, so this one will win the fight. I find I win most of the fights that I don't get shot in. So if I can avoid getting shot, I have a great chance of winning the fight. Forget whether my bullet's better than your bullet. If your bullet doesn't hit me because you don't see me, I'm going to win. So that's how I tend to kind of play the game, and I'd like to play it a little more survivally as well. And a kind of lightweight mobile character that hunts and fishes and survives, that's DayZ to me. All right. We're continuing to follow this road. This campground will be on our right momentarily. We're going to try to loot it. There will 100% be zombies here. So we're going to try to be careful not to pull too much aggro. But we can use the buildings there. There's cabins. There's a medical building. We can, you know, zombies can't go through doors in DayZ, so just shut the door on them. A good strategy if you get a lot of aggro on you, 3, 4, 5, 6 zombies, get yourself in a building, close the door behind you, lock them out, and then just wait Wait a few minutes. They will de-aggro and kind of wander back to where they were, and then you have another chance to get out and be a little more stealthy this time and get out of there. All right, so here's the campground. Lovely sign. Typically, when I come to a campground like this, if I don't see zombies, that worries me. That tells me a player is close, they killed the zombies, and they might still be in the area. If you see a lot of zombies walking around, or some zombies walking around, rather, that's usually a decent sign that there's nobody else there. Doesn't mean it for sure, but there's a good chance. All right, there's 3 doors, 1, 2, and 3 to the outside in this building. So all of them are closed right now, so I'm not too concerned about the zombies aggroing me through the windows, because they're not going to be able to get at me. Okay, that's good. I found another bandage. That makes me feel better. Now we have 4 uses from this one and 2 from the other one we've been using, so we have 6 usages now in the bandage. That's much better. Wow, and another blaze. This blaze is damaged, this one is damaged, so there's no real point. It would have a little bullet beside it if it was loaded, so I don't have to pick it up and check it. I can see that it's not loaded. I don't think I've seen a blaze spawn in this building before. So either somebody brought it in. Oh, hello. Either somebody brought it in and dropped it, or they can spawn that far from these hunting cabins. All right, let's check these cabins. There's a zombie in here. Got him. As long as you do the attack before they spot you, seems to work. Okay, so here's a hunter jacket. So you see that says best insulation? You know, it's got 42 slots. You know, my shirt is low insulation right now, probably because it's damaged and soaked, and only has 30 slots. So this is a much better top. The problem with this particular one is it's bright white, which is not great for camouflage. So some days I would pick that up. Some days I wouldn't, depend on my mood. It's the first building we went to here. I'm gonna pick up this tincture. Uh-oh. It's the first building we went to, so I'm gonna hold out and sort of hope we find something better. Alright, so we have some aggro on us, that zombie. I'm just going to try to chill here for a minute and let him calm down. That's the goal. Alright, so this alcoholic tincture is useful in that if I cut up rags, so you can use a knife on most clothing in the game and cut it up into rags and then use that instead of bandages to heal wounds. I can actually treat the rags with this alcoholic tincture so that it becomes disinfected. Or if myself or someone else treats ourselves with not disinfected rags or bandages and contracts illness from it, I can treat the wounds with this alcoholic tincture and make that illness go away. Oh, what do we have here? That's the very reason why we came here, guys. Box 308 rounds. My gun takes 308. So I'll put it in my hands. I open it up. Now I have the bullets in my inventory. I like to, every time you open a box of ammo in DayZ, it drops a piece of paper on the ground. A lot of people just leave them. I take them. I take them because I like to use that paper for kindling on fires. Rather than wasting my knife trying to cut bark or wasting a rag that I could use to bandage myself on a fire, this paper doesn't really do anything else, so you might as well grab it. The problem already, of course, is that it's damp. So I'm going to have to dry it out before I can use it. That's why I'm also hoping to find some kind of container. That medical building didn't have one. Sometimes you find these red first aid kits, and you can put things inside of it. So I put things like pieces of paper for kindling, matches, put them inside containers so that they stay dry in your inventory so that you can still light fires with it. Alright, that zombie seems to have calmed down. So we're going to go outside. Alright. We found, this is a scope, which is great. The problem is it doesn't go on any of the guns that I have, but we'll still pick it up. We might need it at some point. And we have lots of room right now. Alright, we got 2 zombies here in front of us. So we want to be a little bit careful. Alright, we got some chocolate to eat. Okay. Now we're talking. A hunting scope, which goes on our blaze. How good is that? So let's load it. Let's hotbar it. Put that away. All right, we're gonna drop the shotgun now. We have kind of a close-up weapon in the MP5. I'm gonna take this scope off it. I was just keeping it on there to kind of save the inventory space anyways. I'm not gonna use a 4x scope ACOG on a MP5. But now we have sort of what I look for in the game, which is a viable close weapon and a viable long-range weapon. The only thing I'm looking for now is either to upgrade those things by a better version of that style of gun, or I would love to get a suppressor, because if I can get a suppressor on the MP5 or a suppressor on this Colt 1911, I'll be able to shoot zombies without alerting other zombies. And that's nice. The best gun for that is the 22 pistol. It has an internal suppressor, and it in-game is very, very quiet. Zombies don't seem to care or hear it. Regular guns like what I have that have an external suppressor attached to it, if I can find one, are fine, but they don't seem to work quite as well. And also the suppressor wears down over time, and you've got to repair it with a gun repair kit. Whereas the 22 pistol, you just got to repair the pistol over time as you use it. So it's better for zombies. Sucks on people. Really good on zombies. All right, so there we go. We're not going to take that white hunting jacket, unfortunately, but we got new bandages. We got, what else did we get? We got bullets, and we got a scope and an extra scope. A scope for our gun and a scope for a Mosin or an SKS if we find one. So that's why you go to these campgrounds. All right, so now we're going to keep heading inland. We're going to kind of run through the woods a little bit now, because we have this blaze with a scope and bullets. I'm actually trying to see if I can hear some animals. Our character is wet. We're a little bit cold. It's nighttime in DayZ, which is already kind of annoying and dangerous to run around in. We'd love to hear an animal in the woods here. Hunt it, kill it, get the meat, and then find a nice little house to make a fire in, dry off, cook, eat, and wait for morning. But we're still kind of cutting northeast here. We can check if we're actually going northeast. But the compass in our hands, left click to open it. I'm actually going more north. There. See? I was way off. But yeah, we're going to go sort of north by northeast, skim through Mogovecchia, and try to make it up to this next campground. Let's see what we can see. That sounded like gunshots. It's probably out by Zelenogorsk or Pavlovo Military is my guess. But we're not really in the condition we need to be pursuing them. You guys hear that? Sounds like a boar, maybe? It's up there somewhere. See if we can find it here. Might be a couple. Or is it a deer? I find the... I think it's a boar. Sometimes the animal sounds in the game sound very similar to me. But whatever it is, it's going to have meat on it that we want. You notice also, so down here, you see that the gun is in single fire by default, and it's ranged at 50 meters. Now, so right now it's ranged at 50. When I look down the scope, see how that changes? Now it's ranged at 200. So page up and page down will change that, right? So I can range it up and down in terms of not looking down into the scope, down the side of it. But that doesn't affect, like, so if I change it now, I can range it way up because I'm looking through the scope. That won't affect what it is when I'm not looking down it. I don't know why DayZ does that, but it does. So if you are taking long shots, be aware of your ranging. Also, for this blaze, which is a double barrel, you can hit X to change the fire type and make it double, which will fire both shots at the same time. So if you hit the target, you're going to hit it with 2 308 bullets, which is going to do, obviously, twice the damage. I find, generally speaking, the 308 is a pretty good bullet, and you don't need to double shot it. However, some players, if they're winning plate carrier, or some of the bigger animals, a bear, or one of the big kind of elk or big deer looking things, sometimes the double shot is wise, because you have a better chance of taking the kind of bigger stuff down. But generally speaking, the single shot is enough. Okay, so it is a deer. Not a boar at all. So we've got a female here and a male here. So we're going to try to take down the male. So we're going to go ahead and hit X to make it a double shot. I can mouse wheel forward to kind of zoom in more. And you notice my aim is sort of all over the place. You don't have a super steady hand in DayZ. So, but if you hold control, you hold your breath, and you have sort of a few seconds of a steady hand. So that deer went right down. So I'm glad we did the double shot. Took 2 bullets, but probably worth it. Got a rack on that guy. Holy cow. All right, we got quite a bit of meat. I really am only interested in the venison. If I had a pot and I was cooking, I might take the fat. If I was planning on doing some more fishing, I would take some bones. I might just fill up the bone stack I have so I have enough to do some fishing later. You can do some things with these items. This deer pelt, you can pick it up, and if you find garden lime in the game, you can combine it with the deer pelt and make untanned leather, and then you can make a makeshift shelter out of that, like a kind of like your own tent to store items in. I'm not too worried about that stuff in DayZ. I don't tend to make bases or that kind of thing, so I'll just leave it. But if that's something you're interested in doing, then you might want to hold on to that deer pelt if you get one. All right, that sounded like an artillery shot. That was a big boom. All right, let's see where exactly we are here. Are we on the right road? Is that even possible? Let's check our eyes revive real quick. Kind of see where we could be. So, we made it to this campground. We made it to Mogilev, and then we were hearing deer. And the question is, did we hear the deer and just come to here and now we're on the right road up to this campground? Or did we hear the deer and it pulled us off onto, like, maybe this road? I don't think I saw Vishnoi or this castle up on this hill, Zub. So I actually think we've lucked out and we're somewhere, you know, here. All right, here we go. Now, I'm not the only one who goes to these campgrounds, obviously. Very popular. So we're going to have a gun out, sort of just in case. And we're going to hope that our MP5 doesn't jam on us if we need to shoot it. pump right there. Alright, with this zombie, we have a building with 2 entrances, and I've closed one of them. He's aggroed on me. I'm going to try to, instead of killing him, I'm going to try to lock him in this building. So he should, because he saw me, run around and come in this open door. And I can try to run by him and close it and lock him in here. Or he didn't see me. He only heard me. In which case, he's not coming out. Sounds like he's not. Again, a white hunter jacket is not really what we're hoping for. Alright, here we go. This one's damaged, just like my shirt is damaged. But it's better insulation. Has more slots, and so we're going to make the change. Switch everything over, throw that on the ground. Also, this shirt is dry, although the rain's going to make it not dry soon. This stuff does the same thing as the tincture does. It's just a different liquid. Different container. You cannot combine them, unfortunately. We're going to grab a drink. This is kind of a dangerous thing to do in DayZ. A lot of people like to camp wells and just, you know, they'll be behind a bush somewhere and shoot. But sometimes you just play the percentages and say, hey man, I need a drink. What do you want me to do? That's what we're doing here. I mean, what are the chances? Alright. It's going to be enough for now. There we go. Another knife. So we'll put this one in this sheath. We find a belt, the sheath will attach to that belt, and that'll save us a little bit of inventory slots. Another jacket. This one's only worn. It's a pain in the butt to swap all this stuff. If you want to, you can just hold Control, click, and that will drop items. So I can kind of do this, swap it, drop it, and then double click this stuff. It doesn't put it back in necessarily exactly where you want it, but for kind of quick drops and pickups, those are good things to have. I'm going to put this heat pack on. Put it in my jacket. Keep me a little bit warmer throughout the night. Not a lot of zombies here. It's possible somebody else has come through here. 24 slots versus 30 for my BDU pants, but they're low insulation. These are best insulation, so it's probably worth swapping. So we'll do the same thing, control click, and then double click this stuff to pick it up. We don't need those pants though. Alright, now I've got the full kind of hunter gear. which looks pretty decent. It's really good insulation. You do have to be a little bit careful in DayZ with uncooked food. It will go bad. It will spoil. So you want to make sure you cook it before too long. It feels a bit like someone's been through here before me. Charcoal tabs is one of those medicines you really don't need. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about with the NBC gear. There's a hood. Worth grabbing. Again, that's why we come to these campgrounds. Why we investigate the medical buildings. It's just one of the reasons. You can test your blood in DayZ. You can actually take bags of blood from yourself and others and test it, and if you get low on blood, you can give yourself blood intravenously, and if it's the wrong blood, you die, and if it's the right blood, it helps. All right, so there we have it. We've gone from fresh spawn to let's loot the first city we're in. Now we've looted a couple of campgrounds. We have a blaze with some ammo and a scope. We got some better clothes. We've managed to kill an animal so that we're going to set ourselves up for food and drink to be kind of healthy for a long time. And we're ready to start thinking about more endgame. Where do we want to be on the map to get into some PvP and to get some of the very high loot items available in DayZ. So that's what we're going to be doing next time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the DayZ for Noobs video, and watch for video 3 coming soon. Bye.